Yo, what's going on, guys? Beb here. Okay, so clone tools. It's opened up. Check this out. Boom. Artifact ones on top of the clone. Pose mode. Boom. They're rigged to the clone. All right. I'm going to teach you how to set up wearables, rig them, and make them clone tools compatible to share, right? So you can distribute them to either your customers, your friends, whoever you're allowing to use your wearable. It will work in clone tools if you follow this guide. Okay, cool. Let's get into it. Here is a folder. This folder has all my clone files in it. I'm going to teach you how to set one up that looks just like this. For this example, I have footwear artifact 1. That is the shoe. And this works just like all of the other traits with clone tools. And here's how you can make it. Okay, so boom, new folder, right? We want to follow a similar naming convention as everything else. So if you're making a hat or whatever wearable trait you're using, you want to follow that naming convention. For this, it's footwear is going to be the name. So what I'm going to do is I'll get rid of this 2, and I just had a double in there. I'm going to put a dash. So the category of what it is, footwear dash, and then let's call this artifact underscore shoe. Okay, and then end it with a dash combined. Okay, and I'm going to enter here. I'm going to open this folder up. What we need in here is 2 additional folders, and they're going to be called male and female. So underscore male, underscore female. And inside each of these folders, you need a folder called blender. So underscore blender. Let's go back out. In female, new folder underscore blender. So that all your folders are now set up correctly. I accidentally forgot an E right here, so just add that real quick. Combine, spell it correctly. Now, inside of each of these blender folders, we need to set up a rig and put the object to that rig and weight that object correctly. That's how we get it done. All right, so to do that, I think the easiest way is we take an existing one. So I'm going to use the red varsity jacket, for example. You can use anything. It does not matter. And we'll go straight in here, male blender, and see this blend file. We're also going to copy this naming convention after, but for now, we're just going to open it up. I'm going to pull this screen as soon as it loads. Okay, right here. Hey, get over here on this side. Awesome. So if you look at this top right section here, you have Genesis 8.1 male, and then the object inside of it. And in here, you have just a bunch of empty controls. These don't really matter. They really don't matter. But we do need this, and we need the object. So we're going to delete this object and add the object that we want to add as a wearable, okay? So for this example, I'm going to file append the location of the wearable that I have. So I made an example blend. I'm going to go and look for the object, and the object I want is going to be this artifact. I call them L1 and R1, which is left shoe and right shoe. But yours is going to be whatever you are doing, right? So go and append those objects. And once you append the object, if they were attached to a rig, they will be already attached to the rig. If they're not attached to the rig, like, let's see if I just delete this rig. Yeah, perfect. So now I have these 2 shoes just sitting here, right? These left and right shoes. And then this should be how yours looks, the 2 objects or 1 object. And the rig, we want to click on both of these. So to do that, actually I'll turn this on so you can see, right? You don't have one of these, don't worry about it. This just shows the keys. So if I click here, hold shift and click here, I can select both objects. And then if I hold control, I can click on the rig. So now both of these objects are selected and the rig is selected, but the rig, you can see how this color is brighter than the other 2. This tells you this is the parent object right now. So if I right click and I parent object, now both of these will be parented inside of the rig. From here, I'll just delete the varsity jacket. So now this rig only has these 2 objects. Next, we're going to check for armatures. So if I click on this object and go to this wrench, you can see it's linked to Genesis 8.1 male now. We'll go to the other one and link it to Genesis 8.1 male. Okay, so now both objects have an armature pointing to this rig. That's what we want. From here, what we can test using clone tools is we'll go to load pose library. If it goes black like this, just switch back to viewport shading and then maybe turn on overlays if it turned them off so you can see the bones again. And now we'll make sure the rig is highlighted and switch to a different pose. So let's try this pose. And the feet did move. It automatically moved. If your rig doesn't automatically move, I'm going to show you two more methods of how we can quickly get this to work. So yeah, let's just get into that real quick. If I take both these objects and I set the same thing up, both these selected and the rig selected as the parent, I'm going to also be in object mode. If you try to pose it and the objects do not move with the rig, you can right click, go parent with automatic weights. You can try this option right here. And if we click on this, it may or may not work. This is not a guarantee. It's automatic. So it's going to try to parent it to the armature, and then you can switch to pose mode again and see if it works. In this case, it still works because it worked the first time. But if it doesn't work still, then we have to do a parent and weighting manually. Okay, so I'll show you what that means. So I'm going to grab this object here, make sure we're in object mode, go down, click on the object again so I get these modifiers back up. I'm going to go down here to this little triangle here, this little green triangle, and you can see all the vertex groups. This is all the different bones of the character. If both the automatic method didn't work and just pointing the armature didn't work, this is the third option that you can do to force it to work. Basically, what we're going to do is first we're going to click on the rig. And when the rig is selected, you have this little armature character right here. And we can click on viewport display and go in front so we can see through objects. And if you want that to go away, you just turn it off later. And then we can zoom in, go into pose mode, click on the bone that we want to parent to. So this shoe obviously should be parented to this bone because it's the foot bone. But what is it called? It's called the right metatarsal up here. You see that? And this bone is called the L metatarsal. So R and L metatarsals. That's the bone we want to parent to. So we want to now have this object here on the left, which is R1, parent to right metatarsal, which is this bone. And the same thing for the opposite, L1 to the L metatarsal bone. So I'm going to click on the left shoe, which is actually the right shoe because it's based on this direction here, you know what I mean? So this right shoe, this R1 shoe, and we're going to look inside of this vertex group right here for the right metatarsal. Mine happens to be right here. You might have to scroll through and find the right metatarsal. Mine is right here. And the way you can shortcut this whole process is you find this right metatarsal and you lock it. Once it's locked, you hit this little down arrow and you delete all unlocked groups, okay? That will get rid of everything that's not the right metatarsal, then unlock it, okay? Now we'll go back to the other shoe. The other shoe we know we want on the left metatarsal, right? So we're going to scroll around through here and find the left metatarsal. I'm just going to hope it's at the top. It is. Awesome. Yours might not be, but scroll through it and find the bone you want to link it to. Lock it. Click on here. Delete all unlocked groups. So only the left metatarsal is left. Unlock it. So now this shoe and this shoe can only parent to the left and right metatarsals, right? Accordingly to what you gave it. So now it should not be able to parent to anything else. It should work. But the last step is now we need to apply weight to the shoe. And that's called weight painting, okay? So to do weight painting, we need to have an object selected just like this while in object mode. Go to texture paint. Click on this texture paint option up top and go to weight paint. If you look at the weight paint, mine is already red. And that's because I already painted it. Yours might be blue. If it is blue, can I unpaint? Maybe I can show you if I unpaint it. No, I don't know how to unpaint something. I only know how to make things. Okay, if yours is blue and not red, maybe there's a blue spot on here. Yours will be blue if it's not moving correctly. If it is moving correctly, it's already weight painted correctly. But because I painted mine red, I know it's weight painted already. But if it's blue, paint it. If it's blue, paint the whole thing. Just paint it all red and then see how it interacts with the movement. the more you make something red, the more it will interact with the movement of the armature. So you get to paint the areas that you want to have interactions, like folds and bends and stuff, according to how the bone itself moves. That's how weight painting works. For me, I just paint the whole shoe red because it should only move with the one bone. So both of my shoes, go to shading, go to weight paint. Oh, that's not it. Texture painting, go to weight paint, and both shoes are red, and that's why they work. Right. And that's it. So make sure both shoes are painted red. Just literally do this right here and just paint. Just go like that, paint. And then that's it. And until the whole thing is red. And once everything is red, it's done. You weight painted the whole thing. And at this point here, you should have both shoes parented, forcing it to the bone that it should be parented to. And you should be able to just go into pose mode and pose, and it will move. Make sure you click the rig and then click it. Right, boom. And then your shoes move. And that's it. That now you have a rigged wearable set up in a file. And all you have to do from here is file, save as. Well, actually, let me add this. You should go external data pack. That will make sure any images that are in this file will transfer when you save as. So go save as from here. And I'm going to back it up. And I'm going to go to the folder we made. And what folder did we make earlier? We called it the footwear artifact, I think. Footwear artifact shoe, male, blender. And then we'll name it the same thing. So keep the M rigged. This is every single trait has this M rigged. And then this is where the name begins. So I'm going to call this artifact underscore shoe. Blend. And then save. Okay, and now I'm going to give you another example. If I go to here and I back it up all the way down here, and then go to, what's it called? Artifact shoe, male, blender, M rigged artifact shoe, right? Blend. If you were to look at a different trait, like the red varsity jacket, and you go to the female, and you go to blender, and you go F rigged, the only difference is the F, right? Everything else is like exactly the same. It's just the F. So you have to keep that in mind. But if I open this up, I'm going to give you an example. If you look in here, like this, the only difference, actually, I'm going to delete this object too, so you can see. The only difference between this rig and this rig is nothing. There's no difference. They're exactly the same. The object on the rig is what is different, okay? The actual rig is the same. What you want to do is if you have a wearable that has a variant for female, then you want to make sure that you add it into the female blend file. But you can just use the same rig twice, essentially, and it's going to do absolutely nothing. Okay, so in a good way. So if I just go here and I go, welcome to my brain. Okay, Genesis 8.1 female, and I change this to Genesis 8.1 female, like that. Now, everything in here is now named correctly. Maybe not this. Yep. Female. Everything here is now named female. This will 100% work as the female variant. I'm going to go over here, make sure we're on pack, go to save as, back it up, go to female, blender, and then just take this same exact thing, put an F in front of it, and save as. And we're good. Now you have your female variant made from the same project because there is no differences between the shoes from male to female. You can close this. We can open up this. We'll back this up too and then go. And I'm going to delete this old one. That's how much I trust what I did. And I'll even delete this other one. And now we only have artifact shoe combined, the one we just made. What you want to do is you want to copy this title. Okay, copy it. Open this up. Go file, new, right? Make a zip. Paste the name in there, okay? And add these two folders into it. Okay, so inside the zip, directly should be male, female, all right? It should not be, do not put this folder inside of it, okay? Does that make sense? Like, I'll give you an example. If I made this and I put it like this and I drag this into here, when I extract it, it's going to do this. If I open this, there's another one. So that's wrong. Now it's not going to work because you have the same folder like twice for no reason. So this is wrong. This is wrong. this right here should be set up like this. This is wrong right here too. It should be set up where you make the zip, you put the female and male inside. Inside the zip directly should be male and female. This is correct. This will work. Okay? So this right here, you can give out. I'm going to delete this too so you can see. This right here is good to send to friends. You open this up, male and female, that's what you want. I'm going to load this in Clone Tools so you can see it and copy this directory. Go here, File, New, General, don't save. New Clone Tools, open this, paste this here, right? So this is the directory that we're going to open right now, and it's going to load up my clone, and it's going to include the footwear shoe combined zip we just made, and it should be rigged because we rigged it on a rig, right? So select location. Let's see. Come on. Boom. I see the shoes on the feet already, and we're good to go. That means it did extract it correctly. Awesome. And the date modified should be recent. 556. It is 556. Perfect. And then if I pose it, let's see, it moves. Awesome. So now you have a shareable clone trait. That's it. That's how you make traits in the same format as all the other clone traits. And you can do this with any wearable. Any wearable. If you get a GLB, you can make it into a wearable that's Clone Tools compatible, right? And these Clone Tool compatible wearables will work in your style libraries too. So if you create a style library real quick like this and open it up under the side menu here of Clone Tools 2.0, boom, there's the shoes. They're right here. And I can unequip it, and I can equip it, and it'll just permanently stay into this little custom style library that I made and have a visual representation of the shoes. And that's it. You just made a clone trait basically. And now you don't have to do this file import GLB and then have your consumers set it up and they have to rig it and stuff. You can do all of that for them and just give them the clone trait. Just like this, just like all the rest of their clone traits, tell them, throw it in with the rest of their clone traits and it'll work on Clone Tools. That easy, right? Okay, I hope you guys like that. I hope I explained that good. I just did a one take. But have fun, make some dope stuff, share it with others. I want to see what you guys got. All right, I'll catch you guys later, guys. Peace.